everybody, welcome back to another video. And you know what month it is, am I right? It's the spooky month, and for this month I am going to be telling you guys some spooky stories, and this is part 1. So yeah, let's get to the first spooky story. So the first one is called the story for today is called the Headless Horseman, or the Headless Horseman. If you don't know who the Headless Horseman is, the Headless Horseman is basically a headless horseman. Whatever, I'm just gonna tell you guys the story, so yeah. Okay. Hang on. The legend of the Headless Horseman, also known as the Headless Hessian of the Hollow, begins in Sleepy Hollow, New York during the American Revolutionary War. Traditional folklore holds that the horseman was a Hessian trooper, was killed during the Battle of the White Plains in 1776. He was decapitated by an American cannonball. That's rough. And the shattered remains of his head were left on the battlefield, while his comrades hastily carried his body away. Eventually, they buried him in the cemetery of the old Dutch church of Sleepy Hollow, from which he rises as a malevolent ghost, furiously seeking his lost head and wielding a jack-o'-lantern as a temporary replacement and or weapon. Modern versions of the story refer his rise to Halloween, around which time the battle took place. That is okay. The Headless Horseman was also a novel by Mayne Reid, first published in monthly serialized from during 1865 and 1866, and subsequently published as a book in 1866. Based on the author's adventures in the United States, The Headless Horseman, or A Strange Tale of Texas, was set in Texas, as based on a South Texas folk tale. Ooh, scary, mate. Okay, that is the American folklore. Let's go to the Irish folklore. The Dullahan, also known as Dulachin, Darkman, is a headless demonic fairy, usually riding a horse and carrying his head under his arm. He wields a whip made from human corpse's spine. When the Dullahan stops riding, a death occurs. The Dullahan calls out a name, at which point the named person immediately dies. In another version, he is the headless driver of a black carriage, the Coste Border. A similar figure, the Ganchin, without a head, can be frightened away by wearing a gold object or putting one in his path. That is the Irish folklore. Now let's go to Scottish folk. Now let's go to the Scottish folklore. The most prominent Scots tale of the Headless Horseman concerns a man named Ewan, decapitated in a clan battle at Glencairn on the Isle of Mull. The battle denied him any chance to be chieftain and his horses are headless, and accounts of his haunting of the area. Oh my god. Yeah, that is really scary, to be honest. I'm actually starting to get scared. The English folklore is the 4th century poem Gawain and the Green Knight features a headless horseman, the Attila giant knight. After he is beheaded by Gawain, the Green Knight lifts his head up with one hand and rides from the hall, challenging Gawain to meet him again 1 year later. And now let's go to the popular culture. The comics are the comic book series Chopper, written by Martin Shapiro, is a modern reimagining of the Headless Horseman. It features a headless outlaw biker on a motorcycle who collects the souls of sinners. The only people who can see him are those who've consumed a strange new ecstasy. I can't pronounce the word, but it's ecstasy, like drug that triggers their sixth sense and opens a gateway to the afterlife. During the hallucinogenic high, any characters who have committed significant sins are hunted by the headless ghost. Once the drug wears off, the victim is safe and beyond the headless horseman's ghostly reach. That is very scary. No joke. Okay, hang on. I'm actually gonna find the actual story this time. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, while I was searching for the actual story, I found something very interesting. So, the legend of the Sleepy Hollow resurfaces every year around Halloween. Washington Irving's 1820 tale of a headless horseman who terrorized the real-life village of Sleepy Hollow is considered one of America's first ghost stories and one of its scariest. But Irving didn't invent the idea of a headless rider. That is actually very interesting, to be honest. Now I am truly scared to travel around the world. JK, I still want travel, mates. But yeah, I'm gonna continue searching for the actual story. So I'll be right back. Okay, I found the actual story, so here you go. One cold winter night, early in New Year, a certain Dutchman left the tavern in Terrytown and started walking to his home in the hollow nearby. His path led next to the old Sleepy Hollow cemetery where a headless Hessian soldier was buried. At midnight, the Dutchman came within sight of the graveyard. The weather had warmed up during the week, and the snow was almost gone from the road. It was a dark night with no moon, and the only light came from his lantern. The Dutchman was nervous about passing the graveyard, remembering the rumors of a galloping ghost that he had heard at the tavern. He stumbled along, humming to himself to keep up his courage. Suddenly his eye was caught by a light rising from the ground in the cemetery. He stopped. His heart was pounding in fear. Before his startled eyes, a white mist burst forth from an unmarked grave. and formed into a large horse carrying a headless rider. Dutchman let out a terrible scream as the horse leaped toward him. At a full gallop, he took to his heels, running as fast as he could, making for the bridge, since he knew that ghosts and evil spirits did not care to cross running water. He stumbled suddenly and fell, rolling off the road into a melting patch of snow. The headless rider thundered past him, and the man got scared. Got a second look at the headless ghost. It was wearing a Hessian commander's uniform. The Dutchman waited a good hour after the ghost disappeared, before crawling out of the bushes and making his way home, after fortifying himself with a scnaps. The Dutchman told his wife about the ghost. By dawn of the next day, the story was all over Tarrytown. The good Dutch folk were divided in their opinions. Some thought that the ghost must be roaming the roads at night in search of its head. Other claims that the Hessian soldier rose from the grave to lead the Hessian soldiers in a change up Chatterton Hill, not knowing what the hill had already been taken by the British. Whatever reason, the Headless Horseman continues to roam the roads near Tarrytown on dark nights from that day to this. Now, that is very scary, to be honest. I am so scared. Like, I am actually scared right now. Okay, so I hope you guys had. I hope I made your spooky night more scary. I hope I did that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like if you did, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoy my content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye.